プレイステーション。
Welcome to the land of long live play, where greatness is always waiting. Welcome to the PlayStation Experience. I'm your host, Delvin Cox, and with me, as always, is the Platinum Princess herself, Miss Haley Nicole Miller. How you doing, Haley? Who is also legally blind.
I'm legally blind.
Congratulations. You're legally blonde and legally blind. Good job.
Not great. That was a fun thing to discover.
Yes.
So,
at least you know. Also with us, the Lord and Savior of PSVG, who now looks like the son from King of the Hill. Lord Search, how you doing, brother?
I was just trying to relive the glory days of when all the protagonists had short, buzz-cut hair.
Damn it, Bobby.
Yeah, it's like, wait, is it? I don't know you. Get it. Stop taking my purse.
Yeah, that's Bobby.
Yes.
By the way, I don't know how that show does well outside of Texas, but you know.
I love King of the Hill. It's great. It's like one of the most realistic cartoons they have out there.
Yeah, kind of.
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
I love the line with Peggy. It's like, how do you live with no shame, and what is that like?
Fun fact, I've actually never watched King of the Hill.
You've never watched a lot of shows because you watch the same 12 shows every year.
Autism,
Facts.
baby.
There you go. All right. Snurts, how's your week going?
Oh, fine.
What you been up to? What you been playing?
I've actually just played a board game, which was not a video game. My buddy hosted a barbecue board game.
We have a whole show for this called Board the Video Games. We'll talk about that over
there.
there.
And I played Andromeda's Edge, which was took like 4 hours to complete, and it was a little bit overwhelming, so that kind of fried my brain. Other than that, I'm still going through RoboCop New Game Plus and the occasional Street Fighter 4 survival mission, but it's been pretty light for video games. Work has been busy and doing the podcasting and other things.
You said you're playing Street Fighter 4?
No, Streets of Rage, sorry.
Oh, Streets of Rage. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, I was going to say, how are you playing Streets of Rage, Street Fighter 4?
Because I'm awesome.
Okay.
No, I misspoke there.
But...
Streets of Rage is what I was going for.
Oh, you went back into the catalog for it. Like, okay, I ain't mad at that.
Yeah, 4 out of all of them, too. I think I would rather go play Third Strike or something like that.
That's the one that people say is really hard and pretty good, really good.
Yeah. I mean, who can forget that Ken versus Chun-Li video of the guy countering every single kick? I mean, it's just classic.
I don't think I've ever played 3. I think that's the only one I didn't. Well, I didn't play EX either.
Yeah, I bounce in and out of the Street Fighter franchise. I just not a big fan in general. And as I complained about last time, I got so used to 6 buttons on the face of a controller with the Sega Genesis days that I have a hard time with changing my brain patterns to play with 4 buttons and facing and use the bumpers for the other ones.
I think what happened with me is there was a period where Street Fighter just didn't come out for a while, and they were releasing like Mortal Kombat and Injustice. So I just got into Mortal Kombat and Injustice more because it was there.
Yeah.
So now I was more of a Street Fighter guy. Now I think I'm more of a Mortal Kombat guy based off of like, all right, I played 9, 10, 11, and 1, and Injustice, which they're making another one of. So I'm kind of a Mortal Kombat guy now. The Street Fighter ones, like especially when that was 5, I wasn't feeling 5.
Sure. Yeah.
5,
I don't think I ever played 5. And then there was like Street Fighter Alpha, all the crossovers, you know, the
Alpha. Yeah, I like the Alpha series. I like the all the pretty much most of the other ones, except like 5. I did not like 5, but then again, I played 5 when it first came out. It was like bare bones. Like, it was nothing that didn't even have a story mode. Like, all right, I'm not playing this. I don't feel this.
Well, and that's something that the Mortal Kombat franchises has nailed. I mean, I'm in the same boat that you are, where I have played more of the Mortal Kombat and Injustice games for the current consoles than I have any of the Street Fighters, let alone like Tekken or whatever else is still around these days when it comes to the fighting. You know, and as I mentioned in the last one, I played more Dragon Ball Z Fighter Z from Arc Systems than anything else. I think I got like over 100 hours on that one.
That's a great
and
one.
I'm very much looking forward to that new game coming out. And I find the memes about Capcom, Arc Systems, and Sony kind of being like very hilarious.
The only fighting game I played a lot of is Mortal Kombat. I think the first Mortal Kombat I played was that weird open world one on the Xbox.
Was that the one with Sub-Zero as the main character?
No, you're like you learn different fighting styles from each of the enemies that like each of the roster. All I know is that you would like walk around like through each of the realms or whatnot. I don't know which Shaolin monk or whatever.
Oh, Shaolin Monks with Liu Kang?
I don't remember what it is. Like it was on the original Xbox and it was basically open world, like not like open world, but like you walk through the level to fight people, right?
Sounds like Shaolin Monks with Liu Kang and Kung Lao.
Yeah, I don't know. It was fun. That was the first one, and then I played a lot of Mortal Kombat after that, and Injustice. So.
Mortal Kombat Deception in 2004. Does that sound right?
I would have been 9 years old. I definitely wasn't playing Mortal Kombat because I had restrictive parents.
Well, I was definitely playing Mortal Kombat.
Oh, I remember
Mortal Kombat until I was like 12.
My dad came in once when Joseph Lieberman was doing his rampaging against rap music and video games.
Hold on. Stop for a second.
Okay, sure.
So your parents was like 9 too young, but 12 is fine.
I didn't say I played it at home, Delvin.
Okay, so you just played it in the streets.
No, I played it at other friends' houses.
I got it.
Just in the streets.
Yeah, that's what we call it, the streets.
Yeah, I'm out here in the streets playing Mortal Kombat as a girl who got shoved in a locker and definitely knows how to fight, right?
Yeah, of course. You never went to like well, shoot, I don't know. They have in Canada like the corner stores that have like arcade cabinets and stuff like that. That's not a thing up there.
What fucking corner stores have arcade machines in them?
7-Elevens. 7-Elevens did in the 80s
thing.
and 90s. Yeah,
not here.
Yeah,
fifth grade, I was ditching class all the time and going to the 7-Eleven to play Time Killers, Mortal Kombat, and Street Fighter.
The closest arcade to me is in Niagara Falls at the Midway.
Nah.
See, you don't have like a random like burger shop that has like a pinball machine and a arcade
that
cabinet.
Was a common thing.
Hold on. Did you just say burger shop? Did you just use the Burger King ripoff from Grand Theft Auto?
No, shop.
Shop. Like a burger restaurant.
Yeah.
There was
or like
a diner.
A car wash.
Hey,
car washes had sometimes had arcades.
There was one restaurant around here, and it's no longer open. It was the Grand Duck or something like that, and they had one of those flat Pac-Man tables, and that was it.
You have like a Shakey's Pizza?
Hold on.
Shakey's.
What about Pizza Hut?
Yeah.
Pizza Hut used to always have arcade cabinets.
We have a Pizza Hut. It did not have arcade machines.
God. The more and more I hear, Canada fucking sucks. I'll deal with U.S. oppression. Deal with that shit. I don't have shit.
I don't sure have fascism in the streets, but at least I get an arcade cabinet when I go get a big
yes, because that's what matters.
Does to me.
Yeah, even certain laundromats would have a couple of arcade cabinets. As well.
Y'all didn't have none of that.
I've never had to use a laundromat before, bro. So
you never had to wash clothes?
Everywhere I've lived has had either in-building washers or we had washers in the house. Wow. So no, I haven't used a laundromat, but I've done laundry. In fact, we did laundry earlier today.
What's going on in Canada? I get free healthcare and free laundry machines.
I guess so, because like Mama Smith didn't play any of that.
Excuse you, sir. I did not say laundry was free. In fact, it cost us $10 to do laundry earlier.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, my mom it was not going to have us do 8 hours worth of laundry with only 2 machines in a small apartment. We would go to the mat at 4 in the morning and get business done.
4
It
in
was
the morning to
wild.
do laundry.
Yeah,
That's
because
that's
she
nothing.
didn't like the crowds, and we got in and out of there within an hour and a half. We could take over the
Insane.
whole joint.
That
Oh, it's insane. And then to build character, she brought my siblings and I along. She's like, let's go. You guys are gonna be
oh,
folding. You get a donut, you get some money for the arcade, and we're gonna do
yeah,
some laundry.
y'all say that's insane, but I used to do the same thing all the time before I got my washer and dryer here. First thing I bought in my house was a washer and dryer because I used to always go to the laundromat at 3 a.m. in the morning because I didn't want to be bothered.
Yes.
So I'd go there, wash my clothes, and come home and go to work. Wash and dry. Come
Guess
home,
that
go to
makes
work.
sense.
Yeah, didn't want to be bothered. Didn't want people to annoy me because the laundromat. Because there's always this one fucking person in the laundromat who has this load of clothes, and they try to use up every washing machine. They put like one little autofill clothes in each machine. Next thing you know, they're using 10 machines to wash like one piece of garment. And then they do the same thing with the dryer. I'm like, oh, fuck off. So when I moved in this house, the first purchase I made was a washer and dryer. Because never a fucking again. I refuse.
Yeah, I hear you. It's a
Ain't no
nice
way.
perk. Nice perk to have. I did enjoy when I was living with my parents at the house in Chatsworth. They would like, all sorts of small things like, oh, I want to have like a warm towel or a warm bathrobe or warm socks or underwear or whatever, and just stick it in the dryer real quick. You're nice and toasty. It's a
You know
nice
how
little
much
perk to have.
time you could like save not having to go to the laundromat, just throwing
Oh, a
clothes in the
lot.
washing machine, and
Yeah.
it's just like getting them later. It's like, all right, it's done now. Just be done with it. Like a ton of time.
Oh yeah.
A lot of time to play Mind's Eye. There you go.
Oh, that's what you've been up to, right? Mind's Eye?
Yeah, I've been
You
playing
went down
Mind's Eye.
that rabbit hole?
Yeah, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry to inform people that is not
It's
a
not
complete.
good.
It's not a complete disaster. So it's one of those. So far, I'm playing it. It's one of those games that like it's fine.
It's an Assassin's Creed Unity disaster. I'll tell you that much from everything I've seen today.
It's bland. From what I played so far, it's not like terrible. Like the frame rates drop a little bit. Like okay, this is. It hasn't dropped where it's like unplayable or nothing like that. But like my biggest problem with it is it looks pretty. Looks very pretty. My biggest problem with the game thus far is it's just boring as shit. It's really boring. Like I played for like I want to say like 45 minutes, and the first 5 minutes of the game was just a long ass cutscene, and I was just like, all right, we gonna get into some action. This is boring. I didn't really care about the characters that they were showing. I didn't care about the story. And then after that 5 minute long cutscene, then you start the game, then you walk up 5 paces, and then you get another 2 minute cutscene, and then you have to drive to this area and kill these robots. And they're like, all right, this is kind of.
And is it just like exposition dumps for the cutscenes? Is that what's going on here?
Kind of, yeah, that's kind of what it is. And the combat is like the combat's good, it's decent, but like I said, it's so boring. It's like so far the world is so boring and bland. It's like why should I care? Like and I got to, okay. I played the first. This is the thing. I played the little first intro mission, which was boring. Then after I finished that intro mission, they gave me another mission. And I guess I got to one of those user-generated parts you can play.
Oh, that
That was
early
the
in the
thing.
game?
Yeah. And I gotta tell you, that shit sucks. It is fucking awful.
Dude, when has user generated content for story based games ever been good except for Little Big Planet? Like ever.
Well, it ain't good here. It like changes the game. It doesn't change the game, but like I noticed the graphics got like considerably worse. Like considerably worse. And the AI was really fucking dumb. To the point like even like your because sometimes they give you AI partners and stuff like that. Their AI is so bad they just immediately die. I'm like, okay, this is worth. Like you guys are literally useless. So it's like, and I finished the mission like, okay, I'm turning this shit off. I don't want to play this no more.
I wonder if you have
game.
to. I wonder if you have to tweak the AI's intelligence or aggressiveness, like when you're doing the content creation. Like, I wonder if it's that detailed. you could put like AI dumb as bricks, or you can have AI, John Wick.
I don't know. Maybe they let you do that or something like that. But from what I played, it just kind of gives you the. It's like, hey, go through this portal and you can play this flashback mission. I'm like, okay, and you can tell it's like the AI in the game made it the mission because it looks janky as shit. Like, okay, this is something that the computer makes for you to do, and it's not like something that they made.
Oh, so it's AI. It's not like content creation from other players. It's AI generated content.
Correct.
Is
That's
what you're
it
getting
Yeah.
at. Oh,
Yes.
that's not cool.
Yeah.
I was getting confused because I thought this was like somebody who was just like testing it out, and this was their first creation, getting used to the
It's not
user
that. It's like-
interface or something like that.
If I remember correctly, this game got controversy because it was like it had like AI created levels or something like that. You remember, Haley, what exactly it was?
Something like that. I don't know. I don't own the game. I've just seen all the videos online.
That's
Yeah.
a good question, Mark. I don't know. Like I don't turn them on that much. But then again, like my electric bill isn't really that. It was high, but it's not higher than it normally is. Like,
I don't know. I can't read Mark's question. This is not me being dismissive. I literally can't read that.
okay, I'll read it for you. Hey, Delvin, how much electricity do those arcade systems in the background chew up? In Australia, we're struggling massively with power costs. Like I said, I usually don't have them on. I usually just put them on either when I'm playing them or for the show. But my average light bill is, and it's not even because of the arcade machine. I think it's more less so because of the my ACs. It runs
Sure.
from 170 to 210 because it's so hot here. Wow. Mark Sue said we pay $400 per month. I think Dev had the same situation.
He's like a grand plus. It's like a second mortgage payment or something like that, or rent payment. It's ridiculous.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But yeah, it's not that bad here. In Florida, it gets considerably more higher if you have a central AC unit and you don't clean them. Like I've seen central AC unit bills get to like $500, $600 a month. But I have like all wall and window units. So as long as you keep those clean, it can relatively stay.
Keep them clean and don't turn them on and off because that just like they're drawing power even when off anyways.
Yeah. So we really don't have too much to deal with it in terms of. Oh, and Mark said, Annie, I also have solar panels. Oh, hi, Ren the Strange Nerd, famous popular YouTuber who makes all these cool videos.
Also,
right.
Delvin's son.
I wasn't gonna say that, but you said it.
Of course I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna call him out every time he comes in chat. He's my friend. I don't know why not.
Yeah.
Getting angry at the price of games because that brick is going up.
Yeah. Poor Mark over here paying $400 for goddamn electricity.
Hydro.
Yeah.
With solar
crazy.
panels. That's kind of crazy. You'd think it would go down a little bit for you there.
Yeah.
I live in an apartment on the west side, so it barely gets to like over 90 degrees. So I usually run my AC maybe once or twice during the summer. And at most, I'm hitting like 120 at most. But again, apartment living, it's just me. And so that makes it a little bit cheaper.
Okay.
Our hydro
love
is like
Australia.
60. Our hydro is like $65.
That's pretty good.
Even like in the winter when it gets cold and the heating bill goes up.
What, bro? The only utility we have to pay is hydro.
That's it?
Gotcha.
Yeah, everything else is paid for. We have to pay for the hydro.
Hold up, just in your building you're talking about, not like in Canada.
No, yeah, just in the building that we're in.
Damn, Canada's
I mean, that's
giving
common.
utilities?
They pick up stuff here. I think I pay for electricity, but they pay for water or something like that.
No, I pay
Yeah.
everything.
Well, you own a home, sir. There's a difference.
Well,
Yeah.
my bad. Sorry,
You get to
I own a
have
home.
expensive stuff now because you have a home.
Yeah, like a Switch too.
That's right.
So
what
Haley,
do you even?
how's your week been?
Yeah.
Let's get
Well, to start with something light, I got a new phone.
Congratulations.
Yay!
About
Can you
damn
see it?
time. No. you
Huh?
can't.
I can see images, and if it's really close to my face, I can read. But I'm not doing that with a computer. Thank you. How Hi. So, as addressed by my name, as part of my workers' comp requirements, I was asked to get an eye exam. I went and got an eye exam. Hey guys, I am not allowed to drive a car unless I'm wearing glasses. Not these ones. These are not mine. They're my roommates. I can't read while wearing them, but they help focus my vision enough that I can, walk around my apartment and not walk into things. Hey guys, I love finding out that I'm nearsighted. My eyesight has been irreparably damaged by this concussion.
Good to know.
Yeah. I can't afford eyeglasses right now, so that's fun. But in lighter news, I don't know how, managed to beat a couple video games and play.
That's what
Hey
you're supposed to
man,
do.
what am I supposed to do? That one I could read because I was close to the computer at the time moving. Yes, what am I supposed to do? My physiotherapist said even if I got the glasses right now, I'm still not ready to go back to work. My balance is garbage now, by the way.
Let me get a concussion at my job. I'm going to act like I'm paralyzed. No, y'all are going to pay for my retirement today.
Anyways,
Yeah, she's like, I have to drink through a straw now because
yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
It's pretty funny, Donnie.
Anyways, yes, I've managed to play a couple video games. I tried to play Skyrim. I can't fucking read the text or objective markers at all. So that's
everybody. That's not because you're blind. That's because Skyrim has shitty text. That's why that happened.
I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed Shadows, though. That's doable.
Okay, that's good.
And Forza is also doable.
Okay. You're playing it on the correct system, right? PS5 Pro?
Yeah.
PS5?
Dude, I only have the PS5 with a computer.
It was born to be played on the PlayStation.
Hold up. Why the fuck are you downloading Sonic Origins while I'm recording a podcast?
Oh, Delvin Jr. strikes again.
Oh,
I told you every time I'm recording a podcast, he's like, "Oh, let me download everything I possibly can."
Sir, not only did you just call yourself out for not listening to your dad who told you not to download things while he's recording a podcast, you just called it out on air. You were doing that.
That's my son.
Anyways, I've also been playing Days Gone. I'm on New Game Plus mode now, so I'm on hard 2 because there's an achievement for it, and the cats are being weird. So trying to do that. What else have I played? Cult of the Lamb. Been playing that with my roommate. And
I'll read it for you, Haley, because I see what you're doing. Donnie asked if Snurks go to the barber and ask for the code. No, he asked for the Bobby Hill.
That's right, the Bobby Hill.
I mean, it is the Cole haircut too. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I don't even know who Cole is, but that's okay.
Cole McGrath from Infamous.
It is generic.
Oh
white guy
yeah. That's what that was my joke too. Right. Yeah. Or the shepherd. Or the
Like I can't even read Delvin Jr.'s message there. Like
he said, I'm blaming my dad. Maybe don't record while I'm downloading games.
I don't
pay rent,
sir. I asked your dad to record. It's been 3 weeks.
Haley leaning forward like your mother-in-law. Yeah.
I can't read. What do you want from me?
Well.
It's why Snurks has been doing the doc.
Donnie, like, you don't know who the fuck Cole is on this fucking podcast? That is correct. He is on a PlayStation Cop podcast. Don't know who Cole McGrath is.
Nope.
No, not at all.
How disgraceful. Best video game. No, I'm kidding. Like, he's not anywhere close to that. He's just one of my favorites. I like Cole a lot.
That was on Infamous, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's the protagonist of Infamous 1 and Infamous 2. And
I owned a 360 at the time. That's why I never played it.
Wow. How did that investment go for you?
It was great. That's the console I played it.
Oh, about that.
I love that 360.
That was the last hurrah for Xbox.
Yeah, no, it's done. Now everything's an Xbox, as we joke so often.
That is correct, Mark. So Donning is on fire. We don't call it
Donning
that.
is on fire.
Donning is on fire. Yeah.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
That's what Donnie's here for, is to just make fun of us for the entire
No, Donning
show.
is here for that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've been playing a lot of like random stuff, trying to see what I can and can't do. I can't read the text in Cult of the Lamb. That's all on my roommate.
So you ask your roommates to just
Explain what's happening. You're going through the mall. You're in Dead
Donning is a
Rising.
verb.
Yeah.
Okay, just to be clear, I can't read. You guys are blurry, but I can't.
You gotta blame Canada's educational system for that. Get that off.
And anyways, no.
These
I
graphics
do
are
not,
terrible. They all look pixelated as shit.
No, everything's blurry. I can't read, and I can't like distinguish things. So that's why I can't do my job. But
At least see the world in Atari.
No, I am not.
He's like, I'm at least 16-bit, you asshole.
Oh man, yeah.
Sorry, Haley. We only have like another 4 or 5 in the chamber for this. Don't.
Yeah. Hey, look. So, anything else you've been doing besides being blind, Haley?
Yeah, I've been rewatching the originals. I'm just finished season 2 before we started recording this podcast, and started season 3.
I appreciate you saying you were watching the show and you can't see.
Yeah.
Haley's never going to want a podcast with us again if we don't shut up.
I don't believe that.
No. Also, technically, I'm following my physiotherapist's advice because they want me to expose myself to more screens to try and improve my light sensitivity, which has not gotten any better. So, yeah. So I've been trying to watch
with
stuff.
all that. I'm sure it's a pain in the ass.
So they're telling you to go through more pain to get better, like to adapt to it, like Bane from The Dark Knight Rises.
Basically, yeah.
I was born in the blindness. You were merely raised in it.
I will not be. Okay, cool. No.
Silence.
Can you see silence?
Yeah.
What?
Correct.
I didn't know we were in an episode of Doctor Who, just to be clear.
Doctor Who's great. Why they got rid of the black Doctor Who so quick? Damn, like, get him the fuck up out of here.
Oh, spoilers for Doctor Who, everybody. The 15th Doctor, already gone.
They're like, nah, son. Get him back in here.
Okay, hold on. Not only is it a woman, it's the first companion that the Doctor had in the 2005 revival is now the Doctor.
That made me laugh. They're like, yo. They went from a woman. They're like, all right, we know we're going to be more progressive. We're going to get a black guy to be Doctor. Like, nah. Let's go back.
Back away.
Let's
back
go back
away,
to the
not
white
today.
They're like, no.
Yes, that is unfortunately what I'm assuming is the reason that happened, is that ratings tanked because of racism.
It was something else, but I'm not going to get into that on this podcast. Never mind. For what I've heard.
It's also that Shooty Gatwa
I just said we're going to get into it.
Now you're turning into Dr. Evil. It's just like
Dr. Evil.
How about no, Scott? Man.
Yes. Literally flew too close to the sun.
Maybe in the future we'll get another chance for a black doctor.
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
They're like, we got one black president. That's the end of adding equality to everything else. They're gonna hold us against us. They're gonna hold us to our head for the rest of our lives. We gave y'all one.
You gave it a chance. Yeah, exactly. I already
didn't work out. No, actually, it worked out really well. No, it didn't work out. All right, you want to get to some of these news story snurts? Unless you got something else to say, Haley.
Oh, yeah.
Pardon?
Haley, you done? You got anything else to bring up?
That was it, yeah.
All right, let's get into some news. Yeah, guess what? PlayStation's PC games will be playable on Xbox new handheld system.
Because
Microsoft,
it's a PlayStation.
yeah,
Everything is
absolutely.
an Xbox and a
Uh,
PlayStation.
Microsoft has formally announced its upcoming handheld device, the Rogue Xbox Ally, made in partnerships with ASUS. The machine is essentially a handheld PC running Windows, and it will allow you to play your Xbox Live library natively via the cloud or remote play. Because it's using Windows as a base, various PC launchers and storefronts are supported, including Steam and Epic Game Store. And this also means that PlayStation games available on PC can be played.
You know, I'm gonna say something that's gonna be mean, but I'll be brutally honest. And to be clear, I'm being a CM Punk hypocrite because for months now, for about a year now, I've been saying, you know what, Xbox needs to make a handheld. Just get out of the gaming space, make a dedicated handheld. Let that be that little main console. Seeing this, I don't care. Not even a little bit. We got Switch 2. We got Steam Deck. PlayStation's making a handheld. Like, I don't care. Xbox handheld no more. Especially this is an ally. Like, I'm good. Any of you guys care about this? What about you, Haley? You care about this Xbox handheld?
Insert Stephen A. Smith. We don't care. No. It'd be nice to have, but I can tell you that device is going to be like $1,200 here. So, no.
Yeah, I have no interest in buying an Xbox handheld, although I did think it was kind of interesting that we're seeing more of the previous silos kind of breaking down in ways that I don't think any of us would really have predicted like 5 years ago.
I feel like if this thing would have came out last year before the Switch 2 dropped, I think it would probably did decent. But now that people have the Switch 2 in their hands and they're like, oh, this is amazing. We can play all the games we want to play on this thing. I feel like, well, we really need an Xbox handheld.
I mean, it is kind of interesting where you have this like hurricane of excitement with the launch of the Switch 2. And here's little Xbox like a little bit later in their showcase, like, we have one too. We got a handheld.
Hold on.
And
is this accurate, Mark? He says Switch 2 is already being discounted in Big W and Target. They are now sub-Audi $700. How much that is in US dollars? Anybody know that? Huh. And Ren the Strange Note says, I like they're going to fix Windows gaming and how bad it is, but I'll stick with my deck. Yes, you will stick with your deck.
oh, come on.
Yeah.
I was trying to look it up what it would be in American, but
Yes,
or US.
700 to what? I guess to US dollars. 700 Australian dollars to US dollars. What is the Australian dollar called?
A Dunkaroo.
Probably.
Sorry, that was probably racist as shit.
Probably so. All right, I want you guys to get this in mind. Donnie says he'll listen to the show to listen to y'all while he showers. ... Naked. There you go. Get a visual picture for y'all.
Thanks, Donnie.
I would
time,
be more concerned if he was saying, I'm going to shower clothed, because then
that would have been even better. I'm going to shower fully clothed.
Yeah. It's about $4.56 according to this currency converter with today's rate.
Mark Shu says it's called the Aussie dollar.
There you go.
And Donnie says it's $4.55. Okay.
Yeah, he's close. That was pretty close.
So they brought it down to essentially our price? Huh.
Because what is the normal price? 500?
It depends on which one you get. I think the Mario Kart one is 500. The regular one is like 450, I think, if I'm correct.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Here it's like $700. So.
And yes, Donnie says he's gonna be totally naked, bucket naked.
Well, let's put on our sexy voices for Donnie. All right. Well, moving right along, we got the video game actor strike over AI concerns could finally be close to an end. Quoting Fran Drescher, who is the SAG-AFTRA president, Our video game performers stood strong against the biggest employers in one of the world's most lucrative industries. Their incredible courage, persistence, combined with the tireless work of our negotiating committee, has at least secured a deal. The needle has been moved forward, and we are much better off than before. As soon as this is ratified, we roll up our sleeves and begin to plan the next negotiation. Every contract is a work in progress, and progress is the name of the game. So hopefully we can actually have our actors get jobs again and not be on strike and not be copied and ripped off by AI nonsense.
Yes.
Looking at you, Mind's Eye. Yes, I'm very happy about this. It's good to hear that they might finally have a tentative, might finally have a deal to come off strike. So
pay these people what they deserve. Stop going into AI bullshit.
Yeah, and I think this one was kind of getting forgotten. The other strikes that were happening earlier got resolved fairly quickly compared to this one. And that's why I wanted to bring it up today on the pod. It's just kind of like, hey, this is still happening.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a very big deal. I think the ideal of AI and what it can be used for in positive and negative lights kind of alarm people. Especially in the kind of spaces like when it comes to creative outlets like voice acting and gaming, and just taking like the human element out of these things. It's kind of troubling. It's kind of worrisome, and I think it kind of makes people worry about it because these companies are working based off of greed. They're like, hey, we want to make our bottom line a little bit more higher, so we don't have to hire somebody like a Troy Baker, who's an experienced voice actor that probably sure gets pretty good money to do these roles that he does. And we don't have to hire Troy Baker, but we can use his voice per se.
Right.
Because that's literally what they're doing. AI is just basically just using what's already out there and creating its own facsimile of it. So it's kind of...
Well, and look what they did with James Earl Jones' Darth Vader. I mean, I know he gave permission to Disney to use his voice moving forward for Darth Vader, and I'm sure they're using some kind of AI to help manage that. But here he is in Fortnite saying all sorts of wild shit, and they got into trouble for it, or they got like noticed for it. Like when you have Vader being like skippity doo or whatever the hell he said, like skippity toilet or whatever the weird thing is that I did not understand.
Or half the racist nonsense that they had him spew before they patched it.
Yeah. And this is across the board. I mean, I like to follow animation VO work as well. And all the actors in there are equally concerned and, are told to like really look at those contracts to see what kind of AI clauses are in there. Don't pull a Mary Tyler Green or whatever the hell her name is, who doesn't read the bill. Like read your contract, see if there's some kind of AI language in there and, make sure you know what you're getting into.
If you can if they could use your voice in just forever and stuff like that. I think it's just a little alarming. Like I think Bruce Willis gave consent to that.
Oh, did he as well?
Well, he's also not really able to act anymore. So
yes.
I mean, I think it is up to the individual family and member who is there if they want to have their voice used after they're gone. But it is nice to know if they have permission or not. Like that's one thing I was like, well, the James Earl Jones one, at least he said, like, as far as I understand, that it's okay for Disney to use his voice as Darth Vader moving forward. I don't know about CNN, but I definitely the Darth Vader part.
I'm okay with certain aspects of it as long as, consent and people are properly being paid for it.
Yes.
Make sure the estate of James Earl Jones is being taken care of. And, that money can be, given to his family for years and years on to come in, generational wealth. And I think that's a really good thing, Especially when you have a voice as iconic as Darth Vader.
Sure.
But then again, on that same note, I kind of feel like, why not do it the old-fashioned way? Like, when we had characters pass away, how many times we've had different Kermit the Frogs or Big Birds. A multitude of voice actors have taken that role up and built onto it and added onto it. And I think that's a great thing as well as just people using their natural born talents to carry that role on forever.
Well, we have Eric Baza. I'm butchering his name. Bauza. He does all the he's been doing voiceover work forever. And now he is the voice of like Porky Pig, Daffy Duck, I think Woody Woodpecker, and a bunch of other Looney Tunes characters taking on the mantle of Mel Blanc from, years ago.
Yeah, and I watched I think it's called. I'm trying to remember the name of the movie. I watched it recently. The Day the Earth Blew Up.
Yeah,
The
that's
Warner
him.
Brothers movie. Yeah,
Yep,
it's
that's
The
him.
day the earth blew up, or the day the earth stood still.
it's the
No,
Day
so
the
I
Earth
think
Blew
the
Up.
blue. Yeah, it's the recent Looney Tunes movie that came out.
Okay.
Yes, it's excellent, and watching that animated film made me more and more put in my head how important voice acting is, and that talent and the ability that is. It's not an easy thing to do, and just how much care goes into not only animation but voice acting itself. Like they those voice actors were playing so many characters, and they all sound uniquely different, and that's a talent that I don't think AI can replicate the same way. Doesn't have the heart to it.
Another one that Eric was in that we actually would know about from our favorite cartoon watch along show, Knowing Is Half the Podcast, is in G.I. Joe Resolute. There were 4 voice actors who did everything.
That's amazing.
And that to me just blew my mind. And Eric was definitely one of them. And I believe one of the other actors too played Wolverine in X-Men the Animated Series, if I'm not mistaken.
See?
But anyway, I digress. These people are super talented. They can do a multitude of voices, except for the guy who plays Archer in Bob's Burger. He's a one-note guy, but he's a good actor. Benjamin something or other. But yeah.
Also, I just saw what he looks like for the first time in last week tonight, and oh my god, that is not how I pictured that guy.
Yeah, especially when he plays like he doesn't look like any of the characters he plays. That's for sure. But
I know.
But yeah, I'm in total agreement. Let's give the people the money. Let's let the talent speak for itself.
I agree.
Beware of AI doing creation. AI should be a tool. Like what was that comment? Like I want AI to do my laundry, not to take my job.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's certain things you can use AI for that will benefit humanity, and stealing people's jobs is most definitely not one of them.
Yeah. For example, I've used AI at work to help me with math stuff that kind of goes over my head. And I found it very useful to kind of plug in a couple prompts to the chatbot and get me an answer right away that was tailored to what I was needing than digging through articles and trying to figure it out myself. So I have found uses for it in that regard. But what I won't do is click on one of these ads I see on YouTube all the time that's saying like, hey, do you have a podcast? Do you want to be creative? Well, for this service, you can have all the voices and special effects and everything else that you want. And it's all AI generated. And that to me is just copy pasting creations. And I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way. I'm like, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah. All right. What's the next story, Schnertz?
DualSense PS5 controllers will soon be able to pair with multiple devices at once. Huzzah, progress. Coming sometime later this year, the platform holder will release a DualSense update that will enhance pairing functionality, letting you use your controller on multiple devices without having to repair. For example, if you use the pad on your PS5 and your PC, you'll be able to synchronize your DualSense on both machines at once. The controller won't need to be synced each time you swap devices. Currently, if you use a DualSense on any other device, you got to swap it back to the PS5. Basically, you have to like connect it again via USB cable so it can line up perfectly. So it sounds like you're going to be able to just either turn on your PC, have the DualSense ready to go, and then if you want, you can go to your console and then turn it on and it'll be ready to go. A little bit less of a step.
Yeah, it's a little overdue, I'll say. Because yes, thanks, random truck in the outside.
That was the Roadrunner. Meep.
Yeah, me. There goes Eric again.
No, if you it should have been there from the beginning, because yes, if you link your DualSense with the computer, you have to then link it to the PS5 the next time you use it, and vice versa, and it's really annoying. So
yeah, this is where it does impact me, but it seems like a good quality of life improvement for those it does.
And it only took almost 10 years to get here. Let's go, baby.
We're moving at breakneck speeds here with these quality of life improvements.
Yes. Moving at breakneck speeds with exclusive PS5 games. Getting the controller to work everywhere else.
Exclusive PS games on your new Xbox Rogue Ally.
Yes. Your Xbox Ally. Your Xbox Activision Ally.
Yeah. All right. PS5 shooter goes from 5 players to bestseller after devs defend game. So I just kind of like this. This is my feel-good story of the episode. Hypercharge, a whimsical action figure shooter. I'm sure people have seen clips of this online. Just went from near obscurity to becoming one of the top 10 sellers on the PS5 over the weekend. And it's all thanks to the developers being honest. And this is from Twitter. And one of the developers say, maybe there aren't thousands of players online, but somewhere someone's on the couch with their kid, playing split screen, laughing, figuring things out together side by side. If that's all that Hyperchange ever is, that's enough for us. Not every game is meant to be online only. So I thought that was rad. And I'm glad people are showing them support by just calling it out, being like, yeah, look, man, we're doing this for the love. We're not doing this for the numbers.
That's great.
Much like my podcasting career.
Hate to break it to you, this show, we're doing this for the love.
Oh, that's absolutely. I do it for the love. I do this for me, not for everybody else. I'm a selfish guy. Haley, did you? What do you think of this situation?
Sorry, I kind of zoned out.
That's okay. Yeah.
Good answer.
No,
Good answer.
yeah, perfect. How about you, Duffin? Any other comments before we move on to Summer's Game Fest?
I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a really cool story. I think that when people put their work in and they put their care and love into a game that they're making, and people, it deserves to get the credit it deserves and deserves to get the fan base. So it's cool that these people poured their heart out, talk about this game and what they wanted it to be, and people listening like, you know what, we'll support this game. Is this a free-to-play game, by the way?
Ooh, I do not know. Because it says top 10 sellers, so I'm assuming it costs some kind of money.
Let me look it up.
Yeah. It does look cute. It has kind of reminds me of like Toy Story. Like, what if there was a first-person shooter set in the Toy Story universe, or at that level?
Oh.
And so you see like people running around on Hot Wheels tracks collecting Duracell batteries, and there's like a Fisher-Price car in there in the classic yellow roof and red base. But I don't.
Game looks cool.
It says it's a live service title like Fortnite. Already, Horde. Oh no, they say live service games like Fortnite.
Okay, I have the description of it, and
right,
actually, I'm kind of interested in. Hypercharge is a first and third person shooter action figure game where you've always dreamed of. Grab your friends, complete objectives, defend the Hypercore against waves of weaponized toys, and defeat major evil in a story campaign. So it's a single player online PvP. Land PvP, split screen, co-op. It has everything, and it's only $24.99.
Nice.
And
Nice.
It looks like a Toy Story shooter game, essentially. Looks pretty cool, honestly.
I've been seeing clips, and it looks fun.
Looks really fun.
Absolutely.
You never know what you're gonna get.
$25 too. That might be worth it. I might have to check this out.
Yeah. Y'all didn't saying that. Did your mic short switch, Haley? Because we're getting your background voices in there.
Stealing yours? Is he stealing yours?
Didn't switch.
Hey,
Okay.
well done.
All right. Anybody watch Summer Game Fest? Because I sure didn't.
Hold on one
I
second.
did. I watched the entire.
We got one question from Jess before we go on there.
Okay.
Jess says, "Hey y'all, Delvin, do you think it's a good deal to buy PSVR for the PS4 under $150?" I would say
No.
you're talking about the original PSVR, so I'd probably say no. If you could find one, if you want to get to, it's an okay deal. There's a decent amount of games you never played in VR, but at that point, I'd probably I'd honestly say just get you what's the other one called? I can't remember
Oculus?
the wild.
Oculus?
Not the Oculus. Is it the Oculus? It's
The
not called
Facebook
Oculus
one?
no more, right? Yeah, the Facebook one.
Yeah, the Meta.
The Quest.
VR.
Yeah, the Quest,
Yeah,
right?
Quest. Meta Quest. That's what it's called.
I honestly would say, Jess, if I were you, I would say just add 150 more and get a Quest. You'll get a lot. They're still making games for it, and it's honestly really, really, really good system.
I heard good things about the. the Batman game, right? That's the one that has the Batman game on it from the Arkham series. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
PSVR 1 is okay. It has it has a decent game lineup, but it doesn't have enough games. And like I said, you can find it for like $100. I'd probably say check it out, just check it out. But yeah, if I was you, I'd probably get the MetaQuest first, above everything else. If you want to play a VR experience that feels really good. My problem with PSVR is the fact that the original one and the new one, for that matter, has this big, long, bulky cord that's cumbersome and kind of takes a while to set up. But yeah, there you go.
And that's the honesty you get here on PlayStation Experience. We're not just like hawking the Sony crap. Well, if there's something better out there, we'll let you know.
Dude, PSVR has never been supported. They put it out and then it goes to death instantly.
Yeah. All right, let's get to these Summer Games Fest announcements because there was a lot of stuff announced. As Haley, you said you watched Summer Games Fest.
I watched it all.
All 6 hours or whatever.
Well, I watched Summer Games Fest and I watched the Xbox show. So I've watched enough of it. I didn't watch Day of the Devs or anything like that, but
Okay, so I'm gonna start. I guess you want me to start reading some of these games that it says that was announced. Y'all tell me y'all want to talk about it or not. That's how y'all want to do it.
yeah, sure.
Sure.
Okay, let me see if I can pull up the list.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
trying to find one that was a good straight up list, and I did not do well.
Okay, I found something. This seems like this
Okay.
is pretty much everything. Okay, so let's start off with Stranger Than Heaven.
Looks pretty neat.
Do y'all know anything about it?
Yeah, it looks pretty neat. It was shown at Summer Games Fest.
Okay. For those who don't know, Stranger Than Heaven is a new project from the Like a Dragon series developer, Ryu Gai Goto Studio. You know, those people make the Like a Dragon games and, you know, the Yakuza games. And it looks pretty dope. It kind of has that same feel to it. It looks like a next-gen Yakuza game.
Yeah, that's the
I'm
one
excited.
that's in Japan, right? It shows the guy with the beating up people. Is that?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks sort of interesting. I would want to see more of the gameplay and whatnot before deciding to spend money on it. But it looked like a nice game.
Yeah, it did. All right. Mortal Shell 2. Want to talk about Mortal Shell 2? Well, let's move on. Mortal Shell 2 is basically like a Souls-like game. Death Stranding 2, which is... Oh, you want to talk
I
about
did
it?
appreciate the metal music that was playing during that. I was like, that's pretty... I was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
I just want to know how they got Tom Hardy for that. They have the money for that, but not a good combat system.
There you go.
Kind of, yeah. You know, Mortal Shell was a AA game, the original one, that did pretty well, if I remember correctly, for a AA game. So I guess they got a little bit more money for it, and they kind of just got Tom Hardy. And maybe Tom Hardy's a fan of the game.
Yeah, could be.
But I remember Mortal Shell 1 being pretty decent, if I remember correctly. All right. Death Stranding 2. Are either of you excited for this besides me?
Nope. You can have that nice walk to yourself, sir.
Yes. I think it's much. Chronicles Medieval. I'm going to move right along. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.
Yeah.
Hatsune Miku.
Good answer. Code Vein 2.
Who asked for that? Genuinely. I own the first one. Who asked for that?
All right, this next one I want to talk about because I think this looks cool as hell. And they've been talking about this game for a while. Mouse PI for Hire. This that first-person shooter Mickey Mouse game where he's killing the fuck out of people.
It's
Like
30s
Steamboat
black
Mickey.
and white animation with very fluid, jiggly movement, similar to Cuphead, but a little bit more black and white and noir based.
Yes, and it's a first-person shooter.
Yeah, it looks great.
Join private investigator Jack Pepper on a guns-blazing, jazz-fueled adventure in Mouse PI for Hire. Mouse combines the charm of hand-drawn rubber hose animation inspired by classic cartoons of the 1930s with the adrenaline action of an explosive first-person shooter. So yeah, I think it looks dope. I can't wait for it to come out. And it's supposed to come out this year, so we'll see.
It looks fantastic. I love that we're going to have some very creative guns here. For example, they have one, I guess, that controls the mood or maybe does one of those classic things like turn enemies against each other. And it has like a little brain in the jar that has eyeballs and eyebrows. And it kind of like makes little like different facial expressions, even though it doesn't have a face. All the animations look slick. They have like a cold gun that can freeze people, but then you can like shoot little spikes of it and then they'll blow up. There's also something that will strip the paint from the characters. So that's a very clever way of doing like a classic acid type of damage over time. It looks just fun and I hope it lands because this is right up my alley. Like I've been listening to the 1930s, 40s like Superman radio show recently again. And so I love this kind of era. You know, I like when he's like, hey, you know, you're just a dame and I'm just a guy. And, you know, we're going to go out here and solve a mystery, you know, because I'm a PI. And I'm just like, I'm in.
Yeah. All right. This next one, I'm probably going to be the only one to end on this one, too. Game of Thrones War for Westeros. Real-time strategy Game of Thrones game. Yeah,
I want to see more of the gameplay, and if they'll let me cheat, I might be able to play because that's the only way I can play RTS. This is by cheating my ass off.
So for those who don't know what this game is, it's a real-time strategy game where you can pick which faction you want to go with, whether it's the Starks, whether it's the Lannisters, whether it's the
you can even go as the Night King and
the
be
Night
the
King, yeah,
Walkers.
Night King's army.
Yeah, you raise it up, baby.
And you can kind of like take over the world. I think it's pretty cool. Take over Westeros. Looks interesting. You know, I like Game of Thrones, so I'm gonna try it. And I like real-time strategy games.
And Game of Thrones is just ripe for this kind of game. You know,
yes,
conquering lands, castles. I'm sure there'll be a dragon or two if you're House Targaryen.
Yes,
looking forward to it.
There you go. Atomic Heart 2.
I don't remember one.
So Atomic Heart 1 got in trouble for a lot of Russian propaganda. This just looks crazy, and I'm curious as to how a sequel is being made. But, you know, I never finished the first one. So
Okay, easy. They're going to add more Russian propaganda.
Duh.
We didn't get enough Russian propaganda out there, so we need to make a sequel to get some more out here.
There's one thing the Russians can do is produce more propaganda.
Yes, that is true. All right, let's go. If you notice, I'm trying to hold off from saying some games that I think we want to talk about. I'm just going through some of the easier ones. Doom Awakening.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
Doom Awakening.
Oh,
No,
Dune.
not Dune.
I thought you said
Dune.
No.
No.
Yeah, I'm not really that much into Dune, period. I don't mind the new show and I've seen the movies, but I don't know. Nothing's really screaming for me to dive in and surf a worm.
Yeah, kind of feel the same way.
Yeah.
Onimusha Way of the Sword.
Sure.
Boy. Let's get to something y'all want to talk about, probably, because these games, y'all like, whatever.
There was a lot of games. I was really struggling to find stuff that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been the same thing for everybody. So let's go to some of these games that kind of struck some waves for people.
Sure.
Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
Yes.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: we've been talking about this game already for weeks. Yeah. And we just didn't we just see another teaser where they announced She-Hulk and Raccoon like a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, She-Hulk and Raccoon were added, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just feel like I want the game to come out. They got my money, but I'm not going to be thrilled if I see another trailer for it. I'm like, yes, that looks like more of the same. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's supposed to come out fourth quarter 2025. So it's supposed to come out this year. So hopefully we'll get it this year and it'll be really good. That's a great one. Let's go with some other things. I'm going to keep bringing up some of the ones I think both of you might like. Okay. Arc Raiders. Either you see this one?
Maybe. Yeah, I saw it. It was at Summer Games Fest.
It looks interesting. I like how it looks. I like the aesthetic of it. Looks like it could be one of those games that I can kind of get into and dig.
I think I missed that one because it's not ringing any bells. This thing.
It's a first-person shooter.
Yeah. giant robots. Right.
Looks
Yeah,
it.
we'll see.
Okay, so let's go some more. Mafia: The Old Country.
Yes.
Eventually,
Yep.
it'll be like a free game on those monthly
No,
games that we get.
genuinely, you should play this, Nerds. The first Mafia was incredible, and this is like a prequel to that. So
Yes.
Yeah, but
I agree.
I've played the Mafia games. They're good, but they usually are the games that I get for free. I'm like, oh, let me give this a shot.
Go support the developer, you cheap fuck.
No.
All right, so
Welcome.
what's the next one we can talk about? That Liza P. We're not talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liza P. Overture, I definitely want to play that.
Oh, you're gonna play it? Okay.
I
Did you
want
play
to
the-
play it. I don't own the first one though, so I have
I
to
was
wait
gonna ask
until
that
it goes on
question,
sale. Yeah.
Dying Light the Beast.
Yes. Very
I
excited
knew
for
that
this.
one would get you.
Kyle Crane is back, and I get the game for free because I bought Dying Light 2's Ultimate Edition. So
You gonna try it, Snurks?
I haven't played any of the Dying Light games, so that one's not really tickling my pickle, as I like to say.
Well, I don't want it to tickle your pickle. I want you to play the game, sir.
You're being very demanding. You must play all these games.
Let's go to another one. Let's go to Hitman: World of Assassination, which is out now, by the way.
did you just say Pac-Man?
No,
No, Hitman.
Yeah, Hitman World of Assassination 007 level, basically.
Yes, with Lachief.
And it has Casino Royale themes where you play a poker
Yeah.
game as the Agent 47.
Against Mads Mikkelsen.
Yes, Lachief.
It seems like, because that's the same developer who does the 007 First Light, and I feel like
that's
they're
what
trying to
I was going to lead it to, Snurks.
they're kind of meshing them together, right? And,
Yes,
and
they're also making a 007 game called 007 First Light, which looks really cool.
It's
I was
heavily
in-
rumored, by the way. It's not confirmed, but it's heavily rumored that the voice actor for James Bond for 007 First Light is the guy who plays young Dexter in the new Dexter show that's going on.
Okay. That could be cool. I have not watched the Young Dexter show. I heard it's good. So
I
let's see
liked
what else.
the look that I saw at State of Play of the 007 game, and I enjoy the fact that they're going with a young Bond who is earning his 007 status, and he doesn't look like any of the movie actors, which I think is how James Bond should be portrayed. We get a new actor, a new face, a new demeanor, or whatever, even though the themes are still kind of there. And we get to see how he becomes the, James Bond stereotype, basically, I hope.
Yeah. I think it looks cool. All right, let's get to the next one. I'm trying to get the big one. Do y'all want to talk about the debacle behind Jurassic World Evolution 3?
You mean the fact that it's using AI generated assets?
Yes.
Oh, another one, huh?
No.
Boo. Boo.
No. In fact, that game shouldn't get recognition at all. Let's skip it. Let's not talk about it because they're using AI.
They had plenty of money for that Jeff Goldblum speech. What the hell?
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually fun fact. That's not Jeff Goldblum. That's an AI replica of Jeff Goldblum.
Lord have mercy.
Oh, I
let's
thought it
move
was-
on.
Oh my God, Jeff should
Scott
be suing
Pilgrim
them.
EX.
Yes.
That's a side scroller brawler, right?
Yes.
Yep. And
I'm always interested in one of those.
so I thought when they said 7 characters, it was going to be Scott, Ramona, Knives, Wallace, and young Neil, right? But instead, it's Scott, Ramona, and 5 of her evil exes.
Interesting. Looks good.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Next up, this is what I want to talk about a little bit. Mixtape. Have you even
Yes.
seen these games?
Mixtape doesn't sound familiar.
What it is I'll read the summary for it. On their last night of high school, 3 friends embark on a one or more adventure together. Play through a mixtape of memories set to the soundtrack of a generation.
Huh. So, like, do you pick the music and that affects the gameplay, or
Think
what?
Stand By Me. with music being the background and telling their stories to this last night.
Okay.
Okay.
That's how I took it. I could be
It
wrong.
seems very stylized with Stranger Things kind of vibes,
Correct.
Like kids just kind of doing kid stuff during the summer.
Yeah, this last big summer, something happens that changes their life and stuff like that. This is their last big hurrah. That's why I said Stand By Me, which is probably a really old reference. But great movie.
Okay. Yeah, they have this
Stand By
beautiful,
Me?
Yes, fantastic movie.
Yeah. I don't
they
think
have
I've
this
seen it, but I've
beautiful
heard it's good.
screenshot of the three characters skateboarding down a hill with like the orange foliage and stuff like that with the little looks very pretty.
Yes, it does.
Nice style. Yeah.
Okay, so if you notice, we're saving one for last. And I'm quite sure you know which one I'm saving for last.
How about
Does
Wu-Tang?
this list also include the Xbox showcase? Just so we're clear.
I am going off an IGN list, and it's supposed to have, it just says Summer Games Fest 2025 games. So I'm assuming all of the Games Fest games are in here. Maybe not. Okay, yeah, let's go to the Wu-Tang game. Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver.
That was
That looks
crazy
fun.
reveal.
I'm in.
Man.
I don't know
I'm all
what I'm in for, but like I like what's going on right now.
Looks really cool. Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, and I listened briefly, and I didn't watch the whole thing with one of the developers, and it seems like you're really going to be teaming up with the entire Wu-Tang Clan, and you get to create your own character, and it has like Afro samurai themes, which I'm all for.
Sounds dope.
Yeah. Another game that looks like it has a ton of style and personality to it.
Yes. Yarden was saying about Mixtape, the same dev who made the Artful Escape, so it'll probably be great. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Cool.
Artful Escape's a really good game from what I played of it.
Well, it's nice to know that there's a track record.
Yes. All right. Let's see what else I can talk about. I will not be talking about that one, even though I like that one.
What?
Well, so she said what? I'll bring it up. Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny.
Yeah.
Oh, that definitely
The
sounds like something
Nickelodeon-
for you.
The Nickelodeon RPG where you can pick from a gang full of Nickelodeon characters and go on an RPG quest.
That could be fun.
Is Danny Phantom included in the roster of characters?
They haven't named all the roster of characters yet, but it looks cool. My only concern is Game Mill. And Game Mill
Yeah.
is usually missed, but they have a couple of hits. Not hits, but decent games. Okay, I'll read it. Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny is a fantasy game featuring Nickelodeon characters like SpongeBob, Fairy Odd Parents, and more. And it comes out this year.
I want Ren and Stimpy. I know that's probably not going to happen, but I would just love
It's
to have
possible.
like Ren and Stimpy tag team. Like, Stimpy, you idiot. We must do maximum
This,
damage.
this seems like this could be a good game. A decent one. I think that, what I was thinking. Like, if they was to make like a South Park game with Nicktoon characters, I'm all in.
Right, that's what I was kind of thinking, like the Stick of Destiny type of setup.
Yeah,
where
Stick of
it's,
Truth, yeah.
There's truth, yeah. Very early on, though, it's just an announcement trailer. Like so many of these are announcement trailers without anything actually.
And this is supposed to come out this
being
year. So
shown.
I'm like,
oh, really?
yeah, it's 2025. So I don't know if it's done, how far they're into it, or what. But we'll see.
They have a 44-second video with 2 screenshots. It's not really a lot to go on.
Which is what I said about Game Mill. Game Mill is like, ooh,
Sure.
sounds like a good idea, but it might not be good.
Are they the same guys who did the Kong game?
Correct.
Oh.
Yeah. And I think they did that Walking Dead game too. That's awful.
Oh, your favorite Walking Dead game with our boy Rick looking all pixelated?
Yes. Next up, we got Ill.
Yeah.
This
kick
game
that
looks
baby.
awesome.
Kick that baby.
I thought for a second when I saw Donnie sent this to me, I thought it was a Resident Evil game. Because it kind of looks like Resident Evil 8. Like, all right, we just continue this first Resident Evil game, but it's not. and it looks great. I think it looks really cool. Got the little creepy looking baby. Looks scary. Looks
Oh
spooky.
yeah,
They got this. I kind of like how it looks a lot. Hashtag kick the baby.
that baby is disturbing. Lord.
I like it. I like how it looks. Anything else y'all want to say about Eel? All right, so
No, it
let's-
looks like your standard horror affair with lots of weird looking creatures.
all right, let's see what else we can go to. Like I said, it's a lot of. Is there any games that you want to bring up, Haley, before I go on?
Yeah.
More?
Well, I don't know if they're included in the list, but a lot of what I want to talk about was at the Xbox show.
Well, bring it up. That's what we're here for. Bring it up. What you want to talk about?
Outer Worlds 2, I'm very excited for. The developer direct looks incredible for that.
Okay.
I'm very excited that they've improved combat, the flaws system, and like the fact that your companions like actually factor into the story now is going to be so satisfying.
Okay.
Clockwork
only
Revolution.
Is that only
Sorry,
coming
go
out on Xbox, or is it going to be cross-platform again?
It's cross-platform.
Cool.
Comes out in October 29th. The Clockwork Revolution looks fantastic. No date on that one, but basically like steampunk Bioshock. So I'm very excited for that.
Okay. That sounds
whenever it
great.
comes. That fake out with the Call of Duty trailer was annoying. I'll tell you that much. Basically,
Yeah, I
there
didn't
was
see the
one last
showcase,
thing,
so-
and one last thing, and then it was a showcase with Peter Petrelli from Heroes. I can never pronounce his like actual name in real life, so I'm just calling him Peter Petrelli because that's what I know him as. He's walking in.
Milo
Kiernan-
something.
Yeah, Kiernan Shipka is like an AI robot, and then there's like Merle from The Walking Dead, Michael Rooker. But that was a fake up for Call of Duty, so what else? Grounded 2 is interesting. It's not a game I'll play because of the spiders, but you
can make it arachnophobia proof.
you sure can. You can still hear the spiders though. They turn into blobs, but you still hear the spider sound effects, which nope. But here's my favorite thing about my arachnophobia. I could play Skyrim no problem, which does not have an arachnophobia mode, but you turn the grounded spiders into blobs, and I can still hear the.
You don't have to talk about it. I want you throwing it up on the podcast because you're thinking about it.
I'm not. I'm already having an allergic reaction of some kind. I think. I don't know.
Well, let's move on before you pass out on here.
Also, I'm gonna let you go back to your list because I think the other game I want to talk about is the one you're saving.
All right, let's we'll go through a couple more of these games before we get to that one. Because I won't say underwhelmed by it. I was whelmed. Like this is cool.
Oh, Ninja Gaiden 4.
There you go.
That looked interesting.
I
I'm a fan of that
just
series.
gonna say, Snurge, bring up what you want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, Ninja Gaiden 4 is the one that I saw the gameplay trailer for, and it looks like it's going back to basics, which I am totally in for. It seems to be faster and bloodier than ever, and the camera seems to actually be more friendly and not a hindrance, which was one of the bigger complaints back there. And if they're finding a way to kind of get back to that sweet zone of the first two Ninja Gaiden games and avoid that like terrible third one, I am in. Even if we are not playing as the famous Ryu Hayabusa, we're playing as a new character, at least initially. And so that could be a lot of fun. And I hope it really comes into fruition. Like I said, it's kind of hard to put into words because it was just such a visually heavy trailer that you kind of just have to see it to believe it.
I agree.
And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, because I got to mention this one from my son who will have a heart attack. Persona 4 Rewind, the remake of the beloved Persona 4 series. Well, that game in particular that I love a lot, and they're remaking it. So, shout them.
Don't care. Leave the homophobia simulator in the past.
Well, there you
go. Indiana Jones is getting DLC, and it's called The Order of the Giants. And if you played that game, you should know what you're kind of going to be in for. And yep. and it sounds great. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if I'll be buying it like, day one drop, but it is on my radar.
Yeah, I'll get the day one. Indiana Jones is really good. I
It was
like
great.
the fact that I finally come to a point in my life where movie tie-ins for 80s properties are actually really good.
Yes,
like
100%.
Like we were growing up, like when we had the movie tie-in, we was like, this game's gonna be ass. And
Yeah,
now it's
always
like,
is.
Now we have the movie tie-in, like, oh, this is actually really good. Unfortunately, it's all about the stuff that we like growing up. It's not about like modern movies, but it's like, all right, I'll take it.
It's like I said on PSVG, like we are getting games now that are IPs where you actually feel like the character you're supposed to be portraying, not just some weird side-scrolling like monster of a game like Back to the Future on like the Nintendo or Sega or Super Nintendo, or the Rocketeer on the Super Nintendo, where you like literally the first mission is you flying a plane in circles for some dumb reason. And
I Rocketeer.
Right?
When I think of Rocketeer, I think of flying a plane.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it really kicked off with the Arkham series, where like, oh, I finally feel like Batman. This is amazing. And even the movie tie-in for the Wolverine Origins game was actually pretty damn good, and you felt like Wolverine. So like, mission accomplished. And it just
except for
turning
Deadpool into a guy that shoots lasers and can't talk.
Yeah, I mean, that's, it is what it is. You can't mess with the plot of the movie that it's based off of, but the point is the core gameplay was there. And when you're playing like Wolverine and you jump on a helicopter and you raise up your claws to take out the blades, and then you stabby your way to victory, it was a lot of fun. And I agree, though, and it's really nice that the 80s are back, baby, and in video game form. And even to the lesser extent, the AA's, like the RoboCop game that we were talking about as well.
Yeah. Another game that they talked about was Acts of Blood. Have either of you seen this game?
No, I don't remember that one.
It is like a brawler action game that kind of has the feel of like one of those Korean films, like I'm trying to think what's a good one that they have. Well, I'll just read the what it's called. Acts of Blood is a beat 'em up action third-person game which focuses on fast-paced, brutal hand-to-hand combat, set in the dystopian city of Bandung, Indonesia. Kind of has the Raid feel to it, almost.
Sorry, repeat that place name again.
Bandung, Indonesia.
Got it. I heard it right the first time. Got it.
Yes, that is the name of the place.
Okay, that could be fun.
Yeah, it looks cool. If you have a PC, there's a demo that's been on there from the PC for a while. It's a really good demo. Okay. This game comes out third quarter 2026, which is wild.
Oh, that's a long ways off.
Yeah, especially considering there's a demo out right now that you can play of the game.
Sure.
It's been out for a while. Because I have the demo. That's how I know this. Let's see what else we can talk about.
I just thought of something else I didn't mention. The new Plague Tale game.
Oh, yeah. Bring it up.
Not much has been shown about it. It's just a teaser, but it's like it's Plague Tale Resonance, and it looks set in the Roman era, which is interesting because of the way that Plague Tale Requiem ended. So,
okay.
Which kind of hinted at a modern day adaptation, and then here we're going to the Roman Empire, so it's a little weird.
Okay.
But still excited. Plague Tale's a fun time.
Yes, pretty good. The next game I want to talk about is Wu Chang Falling Feathers, which is the Souls-like RPG set in the Ming Dynasty. It looks pretty cool, like those Souls-like games. Looks beautiful.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Souls-like games, but they always seem to be pretty, aren't they?
Yeah, this one looks pretty. Pretty game, but I don't think I'm going to be playing it, but who knows?
I also saw that Invincible is getting a fighting game.
That's
off of the,
correct.
Was it Kirkman series of comics and whatnot?
Yeah, it's made by Robert Kirkman. It's Invincible versus, and I think we only saw like 6 characters so far, but the art style looks pretty neat. So
it seems to nail the themes of over the top gore and violence and power that
Yes.
the series is known for. I just wonder if it's going to be fighter fatigue. We have the Mortal Kombat collection coming out. We got the Marvel game coming out. I don't know. It might be a banger year for fighting games next year.
Yeah, probably. I think the Invincible game probably falls in the scope of like those Dragon Ball games where they kind of have its own audience, do its own little thing, and people will get it because it's invincible and it looks cool. Yeah. Speaking of the Marvel game, 'cause we didn't even talk about this game yet. Marvel Token Fighting Souls. It's a Marvel game, a Marvel fighting game that literally looks like an anime, and it comes out in 2026, and this game looks amazing.
It's made by Arc System Works, so
yes,
my favorite. I love Arc
Systems.
Systems. They're great. It's gonna be fun.
Great.
I am so curious to see how they do all this stuff. The whole idea that you're not going to have anchor characters anymore, and you're going to try to evenly, divide up the power, so you can have it's going to be 4-on-4, which is chaotic. You could have one person apparently who's like is the only person you're controlling and has extra health and whatnot, and gets support from the other 3. You can divide it up between them and have more characters going into the mix. And I am very much looking forward to the character announcements, and I'm assuming are going to be a slow, steady drip that we get as we get closer to the game coming out. And I also hope they kind of go deep in the well and we get a couple obscure Marvel characters as well, because I think they'll have the big hits, but I also would like to see something that's not necessarily always in our face when it comes to recent Marvel properties.
Yeah, it looks great. I can't wait to try it. I'm assuming since we didn't get an announcement for Injustice 3 yet, like an official one, that probably, it's pretty cool. That's going to be coming out right now. We'll probably get.
Oh, yeah, we got the Mortal Kombat collection announced instead.
Yes, we got a Mortal Kombat collection, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and they said more games to be announced for it, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
and I hope we get the Sub-Zero one. I really do.
I hope we get that in Shaolin Monks. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Give it us all. Gimme.
Yeah, just give us all the obscure Mortal Kombat games.
And give us some quality of life improvements, like 1-button fatalities, just because.
That's something they should have anyway.
You know what I mean? Just be nice to us. Don't make me do like the 360 circle perfectly to get Liu Kang's final fatality.
Yeah, just assign it to a button. Like you press R2
right.
and you
Like X is for fatalities, A is for friendship, B is for babalities.
Yeah,
be kind.
Be kind and rewind.
There you go.
All right, what else we got left that we want to talk about that's big? Oh, let's talk about the real quick. Nobody cares about it. We're going to mention it.
I just thought of one.
Go ahead.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay, go ahead and elaborate.
And Doom Guy as well.
Yeah, but Doom Guy's been known since it was revealed. Doom Guy is a deluxe edition thing. So did you? I don't know if you saw it, but they finally showed some decent gameplay that's longer than 30 seconds long, alongside releasing the Foundry demo, which is fun, but I've already uninstalled because they didn't give you any of the goals to do with the levels. Now I don't remember if the demo for 1+2 included the goals, but it was fun, and I'm very excited for the game to come out. But they showed the new water park level. They also showed Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And back at the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal event or something like that, I forget where it was, but they showed a 3-second clip of Bikini Bottom with no elaboration at all, and they still haven't elaborated on that. So I'm very excited for that game. It comes out in July.
Even better. Don't elaborate.
All we need is Bart Simpson, and they'll have the perfect skateboarder collection.
Yeah.
Also, I saw Delvin Jr. Mention. Sorry, that one I read because I was closer. I saw him mention that the no campaign. Fun fact: the campaign is actually in the game, but not in the traditional way. So no talking to different NPCs and stuff. But a lot of those goals from the campaign are included in the game. You just have to beat the 10 Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, 2, 3 style goals first, and then they unlock as a new game plus type thing. So they're in there. And Little known fact, for the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 levels, I don't know if you can do this with 3, but for the 4 levels, you can increase the timer up to 60 minutes. So
there you go. All right. Next up, let's talk about this real quick before we get to the major thing. Deadpool VR.
don't care.
Yeah.
Sorry, I love Deadpool. Don't care. It's VR.
Looks cool.
Yeah. Is it Neil Patrick Harris doing the voice? He's back
Yes.
at it. Didn't he do the voice for the other game, or is done?
No,
I
that
feel
was
like he's
Nolan
played
North.
Deadpool. Okay, I feel like he's played Deadpool before, though. I don't know. I don't have anything to back that
I
up.
think he has.
It just seems like so familiar.
Yeah, I think he has.
Which is
Yeah, I
funny.
don't have-
If anybody saw, Ryan Reynolds posted a photo with Nolan North the other day. So
I don't have VR, and so I have no desire for it. But I wonder if it's going to be decent, or if it's just going to be something that's kind of forgotten.
Yeah. We'll see. Next up, have either of you heard of this game called End of Abyss?
yes,
Atmospheric
Not I.
horror game developed by Section 9. It's kind of like, best way to describe it, like the movie Abyss. You're underwater, creepy vibe to it. Looks really cool. I kind of dig it.
Nice.
All right, let's get to the game. The last game I want to talk about, because, like I said, we'll be here all day talking about these games. Resident Evil Requiem,
What?
a new Resident Evil game. It's set before 7, right?
no, it can't be.
It's set.
I'll tell you why. It can't be set before 7 because 7 is referenced within the locations that they flash through in the title.
Okay.
But also, based on the footage, we know that we'll be returning to the RPD for at least a little bit.
It looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's directed by the Resident Evil 7.
Yes,
same
it's directed
person.
by the Resident Evil 7 guys.
That's
So
what it
maybe
is,
that's what you got there, Delvin. But
Probably.
yeah, the solid trailer. Looks like more Resident Evil. I maybe I should give it a shot. I've only completed Resident Evil 2. I have not
Play
given
Resident
any
Evil
of the
4.
more. Yeah, I've heard 4 is a good one. I haven't played any with the real modern gameplay, and does it really make a huge difference there? It's not as stiff. It's over the shoulder.
So for Resident Evil 2 Remake, 3 Remake, and 4 Remake, though I highly recommend playing all of them. You said you already played Resident Evil 2. Play 3 and 4. They're very good. And then if you're into it, I would say try 8, because I don't know how you do on the horror aspect. I can't do 7 because of the insect level. I've watched gameplay. I've watched the whole story. I know how 7 unfolds. I cannot play 7 myself because of the first-person camera and the bugs. But 8, I was able to play no problem.
Okay. Here's the information I got for you. Resident Evil Requiem is an upcoming survival horror game set to be released February 27, 2026, featuring a new protagonist, FBI agent Grace Ashcroft, as she investigates mysterious deaths linked to her past. That is the
Yep.
headline for it.
Which,
She
if
gets
you don't
real-
know what her past is, it's related to Resident Evil Outbreak. So
Yes. The narrative is expected to delve into Grace's past and her connection to the events surrounding the infamous Raccoon City disaster. So there you
Yeah, I
go.
mean, she got real sweaty in one of those screens that they showed during the trailer. Did not look like she
Yes.
was having
And
fun.
also, for anyone who's not familiar, the big rumor is that you're not Grace for the whole game. The big rumor is that Leon will be returning. So,
Good old Leon.
which would make sense given that we're returning to the RPD. So,
Yes.
but I have to
Listen.
ask you, Capcom, where is Claire? Where is she? Give her back to me.
There you go. She'll be back. All right.
Yeah,
Anything else you wanna say about this film?
that seemed to be the big highlight of the showcase. In general, I thought there was just a lot of teasers, not a lot of actually meat on the bone. It almost felt like when you're at some kind of buffet and you just like sample a little bit of everything, but you don't have like a full complete meal.
Yeah. Well, let's get since we got a question about it. Let's get to this question before we get to our official questions. Question from Donnie. Donnie asks, favorite announcement from the showcase. Mine's is Resident Evil, of course. What's yours, Haley?
From Summer Games Fest itself, it would definitely be Resident Evil. From the Xbox show, I would pick the Outer Worlds Direct.
Okay, what about yours, Snurts?
Mouse PI for hire.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. His second question is, where is Carmen, aka PlayStation Studios San Diego?
Cooking is what's to be done there. Cooking. That's what they're doing. Because
So
Ghost of Yotai comes out in October, so Sucker Punch is working, and everybody else is working on games, except Insomniac has been slowed by the hack. So,
Yeah. All right.
So you're saying Carmen is in the kitchen where she belongs?
Cooking.
Is that what you're saying?
That is not.
No, I agree. My dumb joke was PlayStation Studios is coming to Rogue Ally near you. But you're right. They're working on stuff.
Yeah.
There's plenty of games out there. They're just not necessarily exclusive or from the PlayStation Studios. And we also had that like giant release year. Was it not last year, but the year before that, where they came out with a lot of games. So it's going to take them a little bit more to get things going.
Okay. And his third question was, if PlayStation was to partner with Crocs, what Crocs crossover would you want to buy?
I've never worn Crocs. I know they are popular and apparently comfy, and you can put little pins on them and cute shit like that. But I would I guess, I don't know, Kratos. Let's get some God of War stuff going, I would assume.
I don't like Crocs because they're uncomfortable to my feet. They're the fine shoes, but I would probably say if you're going to make a PlayStation, and this is a little bit cheating, I would probably say PlayStation Spider-Man.
There you go. You get a classic gray Croc with like the little like PlayStation logo pin, and it's the classic edition.
Or if I can't say that, I would say Astrobot.
That could be cute.
Make some Astrobot Crocs.
Speaking of Astrobot, we're getting new levels soon.
Looks great.
Yeah.
Astrobot's dope. One day I'll get to play it. My daughter gives back my copy.
3 years from now, she's like, Dad, I'm finally done. Here you go. Have fun.
Yes. All right.
What about you, Haley? What kind of Crocs are you going to make? With the
None,
PlayStation
because
stuff?
the last time I wore Crocs, they literally tore skin off my feet.
That sounds
Yeah,
like
but just
a
this is
story.
hypothetical. We're not forcing you to wear them.
I know that, but
Snurch, you gotta understand something with Haley. Haley doesn't deal in hypotheticals. Her
I see.
autism legit will not allow her to. I already know this.
he's not wrong. I don't do well with hypotheticals.
So you're saying Astrobot was the right answer? Okay, Haley, I totally agree.
Yes, good answer. All right, you want to read some of these questions, Snurts?
I can. Yeah, sure. Okay, well, maybe I hope I get this name right. Is it Lena Fio?
Lena Fio. That's correct.
Yeah. Do you think PlayStation ever regrets selling the PC/distribution rights to the Death Stranding property to 505 Games?
No, because
Absolutely not.
they still get to work with Kojima, which is probably why it was sold to 505 in the first place, because Kojima is a big, hey, I want to own my IP guy, which makes sense.
And they still get bank off those games.
I was going to say, if it's on their platform, don't they make the money anyway?
So here's the thing, because it's the same thing with MLB The Show. Sony only with MLB The Show, it's a little different. But I'm using them as an example. Anything published by PlayStation earns them residuals. Whereas if the game is developed by Kojima Productions and then published by 505, Sony doesn't get anything from that. So they don't get any sales in the PC version of Death Stranding or whatnot. That is purely because they don't have the publishing rights for it on other platforms. With MLB The Show, it's a little different because it's developed by a PlayStation studio, so they will still receive some of the money, but it's a little different because it's published by somebody else.
Yeah. Also, I think just by name recognition alone, I think people kind of connote Death Stranding with PlayStation.
Yeah.
Even though Kojima owns the property, people just kind of like, when you hear Death Stranding, people are like, oh, it's a PlayStation game. Even though technically speaking, it's not.
Yeah.
This is a great question by Yarden. So does the exclusive Xbox Kojima game just release on PlayStation 2 now? Yes, that is the correct answer. That's what happens now. I don't know if you remember this. They were hinting at an exclusive Xbox Kojima game.
Oh, really? I don't remember that one.
There was like I think it was that Phil Spencer? At one of the press conferences, he had like a Death Stranding statue, and he had some Kojima stuff in the background of him talking, and people been hitting at that for a while. Like he was that Kojima, and I think Kojima actually said he was going to add some for Xbox.
Yeah, so the thing is, sorry, I moved close to the screen. Yarden asks if that game's coming to PlayStation now. Probably.
I would probably say likely. So, and the second
it's called
question,
Overdose. That's what the OD stands for.
Yep.
And the next question from Lena Fino was, do you think the reason they're low confidence in PC gaming space at the time of Death Stranding's initial reaction? I think
no.
I think that just people kind of just Death Stranding is Death Stranding. Kojima's gonna do his thing. Kojima's a legend. I think that I think PlayStation knew what they was getting into when they got Kojima to work on Death Stranding. I think they realized that it's not Metal Gear. It's gonna be something completely different. It's gonna have its own feel into it. It's gonna be some weird shit, and it may or may not hit. I think Death Stranding did really well for what it was. And, I think PlayStation understands that, and I think that the best way for Death Stranding is to survive and continue to make games for it to be multi-platform, to get it on more consoles, get it in as many people's hands as possible, because it's a weird niche game. It's a beautiful niche game, but it's very weird.
I agree, and it doesn't seem to have like a more Metal Gear. I feel like people of all stripes can get into it for one reason or another. It's just. Yeah, when you explain Death Stranding, and I've been explained to it many times, and you're like, well, you walk around a lot and you deliver stuff and you reconnect things, and I'm just like, doesn't have the same like I'm a badass guy with an eye patch and I go like on stealth missions and whatnot.
And Metal Gear is kind of self-explanatory. You sneak, you hide, and if you can't sneak and hide, you kill everybody. That's how that works.
Yeah. All right. Okay, here's another name who Skittles. Skittles. Just Skittles. Okay, cool. What do you think PlayStation Studios first 8? Yeah, exactly. Yes. They have some good ads. What do you think PlayStation Studios' first $80 game will be? I don't know what's coming down the pike.
Depends. Is Wolverine coming out next year or not? If it is, probably that. If it's something that's not yet revealed, that it's coming though. I'll tell you that much. That's the new industry standard, and that's because Nintendo said it that way. So
the first $80 PlayStation 5 game.
I think we'll see it in 2026. I don't think we'll see it this year. There's my prediction.
2026.
Well, we won't because everything revealed for the release this year so far already has a price tag. Ghost of Yotei is $69.99 US.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I feel pretty safe in that. You can still, if you feel like spending a lot of money, get the stupid editions, right?
I'm gonna say that Naughty Dog game. You all right over there?
Yep, the cat just kicked my back.
Oh, that's right.
Uh-ohs.
The Naughty Dog
she's got the zoomies. I don't even know if Intergalactic's gonna release before the PlayStation 6, bro.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I think
Trying to think of something big that can actually get enough hype to where people are like, oh, okay, I don't like it, but I'll still buy it. Wait, isn't Borderlands 4 going to be $80? But I guess that's not exclusive.
that's not PlayStation. That's
It's
not
not
PlayStation Studios,
exclusive.
That's
And
not
also,
exclusive.
we don't actually know the price for Borderlands 4 yet. Randy's just an idiot who doesn't know when to shut his mouth.
I just know that real
$300.
fans will pay whatever they say we got to pay.
Yes, Randy is an idiot who doesn't know when to shut his mouth. This has been established.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He also doesn't know when not to leave a USB stick filled with porn at medieval times. So, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Randy Pitchford sucks.
Yeah, because that's what I always do. I got to have my flash drive of porn ready to go.
I was gonna say that. Like, who the fuck just carries a flash drive of porn walking around everywhere?
Fucking wild shit.
Okay,
Man.
hold on. It didn't just have porn. It had confidential Gearbox information on it and porn.
You're not making it better.
Yeah, that's like yeah.
Why are you mixing your confidential Gearbox information with your porn flash drive?
Underage porn, by the way.
Oh,
Jesus Christ. Okay.
it's time to end this goddamn show. All right, let's
Yeah,
go to the
that's
last
good.
question, Snurks.
Yeah.
I'm not getting to that.
Terps kill Sonic with Marvel.
Wow.
Tokon. Is it Tokon? I always want to say Token, like the author, but I always feel like that's wrong. Anyway, Sony
I'll
is
say
publishing.
Tokon.
Okay, Tokon. Tokon, my friend Tokon. Yeah. Sony is publishing a game in a genre, to my recollection, that has not ventured into for quite a while. Do you think this is the start of PlayStation pursuing a wider variety of games it publishes? I think this is Sony taking advantage of Arc Systems' track record and the hotness of the Marvel IP. And some executive somewhere saw dollar signs when those things came together. And so does that mean we're going to get a wider variety of games? Possibly, if those dollar signs shows up and we get that right combination of chocolate and peanut butter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It all depends on on whether or not the money is there. Because again, none of these companies are a friend. They're just looking to make money. So
True.
Right. So like if this Game of Thrones RTS takes off and it gets super popular, maybe they'll find some kind of way to collaborate and they're like, well, RTSs are hot. What's an IP that we can slam together and see what we get?
The answer is Transformers.
That would actually be kind of cool, man. Transformers RTS.
Transformers RTS would be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you can have G.I. Joe as like DLC, right? Because it's all about the Hasbro universe. And you can have by the end of it, you have like Cobra and the Decepticons versus like G.I. Joe and the Autobots. And then our little child brains delving from the 80s and 90s. It's just going to be blown.
I like it. All right. Anything else we got to talk about before we go?
I got nothing.
no.
Oh, Kelvin's seeing something.
Yeah.
Or he just fell asleep.
Why are they climbing a tower?
No, I was just letting the whole conversation just be part of the end of the show, but y'all keep interrupting the conversation.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So,
Gotta give me some audio, like visuals, like shut the fuck up.
nah, don't do that. We end shows awkwardly. That's how we do it.
Well, like your son says, it just gets worse.
Yes.